So the US has literally dozens of Iran experts at the State Department. These are people who they speak Persian typically. They have spent years studying the Middle East. Maybe they've been based in the Middle East for a while. And that's not even mentioning the many regional experts in the US's three-letter agencies like the CIA or the DIA or that's the Defense Intelligence Agency at the Pentagon. But it seems like before the US team went into negotiations with Iran to avert a impending war, it didn't consult with any of these people. And it looks like all they did was read Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal. I'm Borzu Deragahi. It is Sunday, February 22nd. I am a journalist and a longtime foreign correspondent. I write the Substack borzu.substack.com, borzou.substack.com. If you're watching on video, you can see it right here on the screen. Click and subscribe. So yesterday, the U.S. envoy to Iran and Ukraine and whatever else trouble that Donald Trump finds in other parts of the world, Steve Witkoff appeared on Fox's Sunday morning show, and he made, I think, possibly one of the most idiotic but revealing comments imaginable about the negotiations with Iran. Here he is.
I know that we have red lines here from the U.S. How about over with Iran?
The president asked me that this morning, and I don't want to use the word frustrated. It's almost because he understands he's got plenty of alternatives. But it's curious. He's curious as to why they haven't, I don't want to use the word capitulated, but why they haven't capitulated. Why under this sort of pressure with the amount of sea power, naval power that we have over there, why they haven't come to us and said, we profess that we don't want a weapon, so here's what we're prepared to do, and yet it's hard to sort of get them to that place.
So he doesn't say capitulate, but he really says capitulate. So why doesn't Iran capitulate under so much pressure? I mean, for one thing, as many experts will tell you, Iran is an intensely proud country with a long civilization that would never buckle to such gunboat diplomacy. And any of the fine people who cover in Iran in the US government would know that and tell him that before he went into negotiations or before he went on this TV appearance. But I don't think that any country would really accept the US terms. Even Venezuela didn't, and the U.S. had to go in and capture the leader, Nicolas Maduro, and take him back to New York. Cuba hasn't since like the 1960s. It's been in power and has not buckled to the U.S. pressure. Vietnam certainly didn't. It gave the U.S. a big black eye. North Korea didn't buckle. Maybe 100 years ago, this kind of gunboat diplomacy would work, but countries are these days they tend to be intensely nationalistic. America is trying to humiliate Iran, and that's really not a formula for diplomatic success. So imagine if a powerful country came to American shores and said, do what we say or die. What would you do? I'd say, F you. I'm not going to be your slave. And I think that's exactly what Iran is saying. So when the US comes to Iran and says you have to give up your nuclear program, even though it's allowed by international law, just because we say so, and if you don't, we're going to bomb you, for Iran, it becomes a matter of national sovereignty and pride. Here's Iran's deputy foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, on CBS's Face the Nation just the same morning that Witkoff spoke, explaining Iran's position.
Is demanding the right to enrich on Iranian soil really worth the risk right now? You're facing the potential destruction of your country and the regime based on the kind of military buildup we're looking at.
Well, I think as a sovereign country, we have every right to decide for ourselves, by ourselves. We have developed this technology by ourselves, by our scientists, and it's very dear to us because we have paid a lot. We have paid a huge expense for that. We have been on the sanctions for at least 20 years, and we have lost our scientists, and we have had a war because of that. So that is now a matter of dignity and pride for Iranians, and we are not going to give it up.
Adding to Iran's confidence is that it has a fairly robust stockpile of rockets and weaponry that could possibly do a lot of damage to the U.S. in case of a war. You can read about that part in my newsletter at borzu.substack.com. Thanks a lot.